All right. And I guess this is along the same lines. Are these the same techniques? Did you learn a lot of, because I know you said you did journaling before and now you're starting to do it again. You like doing it before and you like doing it now, and it sounds like you're going to keep doing it. Are most of these techniques and new things that you're doing things that you've done in the past at any point? And are they things that you think you're going to continue to do in the future once hopefully COVID is officially over and there's a vaccine and it's safe again? Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, something where one thing that I have always tried to do in my life is learning. Exercising is something that I started and finally worked in the way I wanted, like to become disciplined and do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the past. Journaling, I just used to do it when I was sad, probably. Yeah. So it was like when you feel that things are not going well, so you start writing things.
Mm-hmm.
It was for me like that. I also tried to be part of a program, like when we were working together, there was another girl that created a writing club, so I started going to that club
Was that
because there was, do you remember her name?
Kara?
Adeline,
Was it
I
Kara?
think.
I don't know.
No, it was Adeline. I think it was Adeline.
But she was
Well,
she was one of the like from the United States.
after, yeah, I think it was after you finished. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like the second group, probably. Well, the thing is that, yeah, and I realized that I enjoyed writing about different things.
Mm-hmm.
I just never thought I could do it like in a creative way. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm considering it. But journaling is really good for,
Mm-hmm.
like to feel better. If you accumulate a lot of things in your body and your thoughts are always there, so it's like it's harder to move forward. So
Mm-hmm.
probably for me, journaling helps me a lot, like dealing with pain or with things that are stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm using it to write ideas, like projects I have, anything that comes to my mind that I think is good to, that probably I can develop farther, so that I write also things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Something that is really new for me, it's meditation. You see, it's that's really new for me. I never thought I would like it, but I definitely love it. So it's amazing because
Mm-hmm.
it gives me time to think about myself. It gives me
Mm-hmm.
time to be grateful every day. So I start the day doing that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so cool. And during the meditation, there is also a moment where you get to plan your day. He says that if you think positively about the things that you're going to do during the day, so even if they go wrong, you're going to have a better attitude towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So you think to plan your day, to start with a good attitude, you start with good energy, and that is just priceless for me,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a good way to, well, to get connected to myself, because I also get to visualize goals that I want to accomplish, not just this year, but probably in 3 years, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, anytime in my life. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start visualizing that, your mind also starts working to make it true, to
Mm-hmm.
make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have more understanding of my mind right now. I am more aware of negative thoughts that we all have. And if I am more aware of that, so it's not easier, but the fact that I acknowledge that this is not so positive, it's gonna make me face it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna make me overcome and probably change that thinking. So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that we all could use, and it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that to be helpful, at least personally during Corona. Some things that I've started doing is learning French and saxophone. And even with the saxophone, I was like, and I only really started because I was talking to one of my friends and she was learning the ukulele. And I was like, oh, I don't know, because then I'm going to get a job and I'm not going to have time and this and that. She said, yeah, but if you don't have time, then you go back and you're going to know more than you did if you never did it at all. Um,
Yeah.
so I think setting goals, it sounds so simple. It sounds like of course, everybody has goals, but if you think about it, if you just, it can be, two things every day. I want to do this every day. I want to do this every day. And then you realize you just start doing it and it becomes a habit. And then you don't do it and you're like, oh no, I got to do that today.
Yeah.
And, it
And you
gives,
miss it, and you
yeah,
miss it, and
you
yeah.
miss, yeah, you miss it and you care about it. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment when you do it. And then, a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, you can look back and say, I'm really glad I ended up doing that. So,
Yeah, I think it's anything that makes you feel good about yourself, you
hmm
know. It could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be just exercise, any kind of practice that helps you have a better relationship with yourself.
hmm
Like you said, you have more sense of fulfillment or accomplishment, or you are
hmm
more self-confident because, like, I promised to myself that I would do this, and I kept my promise. So
hmm
yes, I think I'm gonna keep these habits after coronavirus, because I can see the benefits, and I love it. Yeah.
hmm I wanted to just quickly go back to when you talked about journaling. That's a very, I guess it would be similar if you went to see like a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something like that. But how do you feel that do you think it's maybe it's similar, but do you feel a similar experience between journaling versus talking to another person about what you've been thinking about, or do you not really? Because the thing about journaling is very personal and you can write it and nobody else needs to see it, and maybe that's enough for you, but I think other people, they definitely need to talk to someone to be able to feel better when it's really the same experience, but there's a difference of, I'm communicating with myself and I'm communicating with someone else. Would you say you have a preference between journaling and then talking to someone else about whatever's going on?
Mm, Well, when I started journaling 3 years ago as well, I think I have done it all my life,
Hmm
not as conscious as I have done it recently. I just wanted to, what is expression? Uh, do you say let it out? I don't remember.
Yeah,
It was
let it
just
out.
a
Let
way
it
to let it out to, what is it?
let it out. I was just singing the Frozen song.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, well, it's just a way to release some energy that is not good for you. For
Hmm
some people, it's talking to other people.
hmm
If I get to talk to a friend, it's really useful for me, but I don't stop. I just need journaling right now because it actually helps me to get to know more myself,
hmm
like, even if you don't write about things that you don't like, but you decide to write about how grateful you are, that is so good.
hmm
So then you just say, like, okay, I'm going to write about 3 things that were amazing today, you see, or 3 things that I can be grateful for.
hmm
And that's good. But for some people, if they like talking, that's okay. Whatever makes you feel better or whatever resonates more with you.
hmm
I think writing is useful for everybody. For
hmm
some people, it's not easy to express themselves. And I am saying it because, well, in my family, we love it a lot, or we love each other a lot.
hmm
We try to keep connected, you see.
hmm
My father, well, this is very personal. My father died 3 years ago. He actually committed suicide. And when that happened, I just was like, do we communicate what we really need to? At the moment, we need to do it.
hmm
So I was like, I don't really do that. Yeah. It's really hard for me to express my feelings. It's not something easy for me. And
hmm
when it comes to writing, it's easier, you
hmm
see? And it's one way to express that. Not everybody has to read it. And at some point you're gonna feel better
hmm
talking about that. And well, I think that's something that really, like, when you think about that kind of death, you start thinking about how to express your feelings in a better way.
hmm
Journaling, it is for me. I still need to go over that. I think that when you start dealing up or dealing with with loss, any kind of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole process. When you want to face that and overcome that from your heart, I think that you're going to connect with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's something that happens in life. I think that we all can relate to a moment in our lives when we have faced a very difficult moment, and some people have helped us to go through that in a better way. It's because in your heart you want to overcome that. In your heart you really want to feel better, be a better person, and then you are going to find the right people or the right techniques, or I don't know, the right program.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's what I think.
It's like you said, there's so many different ways. I know for me, when I was in my university and I was stressed out, I'm gonna go play basketball. I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I'm just gonna be out here by myself. And obviously that's exercise too. But yeah, I mean, there's everybody has some way that they can, release everything that's been building up. And, it could be watching TV. I don't know if that's the best way because it's kind of passive. You can sit there and not really pay
Yes.
attention. But whether it's sports, whether it's talking to someone, whether it's journaling, whether it's music, I know probably every artist you listen to, whenever they start to think about things, they say, I'm going to make a song about this. And that's, how it works.